Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be learning how to make this stylish gown you see on your screen. In my previous video, I already showed us how to draft and cut the down part and the upper bodies as well. In this video, we're going to be treating the collar and the sleeves, and this sleeve is called a reversed petal sleeve. So like I earlier said, in my previous video, I already showed us how to draft the upper bodies and stitch it and even the down part. So this video is a continuation of the last. If you haven't seen my previous video on how to draft and cut this gown, I'll be dropping the link in the description box so that you can watch and understand how we got to this point. So this video is just for the collar and the reversed petal sleeves. So with that being said, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please kindly hit on the subscribe button to subscribe and make sure to put on your notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. So let's get right into the video. So now it's time for us to create our collar. So to create the collar, I'm going to measure the neckline. This collar is going to get to my zip allowance. So I'll fold it into two like this, and then I'll measure from this zip allowance point here. You can see everything I have here is 9 1/4. So when it is open, that's 18.5. So I'll be using this paper to illustrate how to draft the collar. Already we measured the neckline and we got 9 1/4. I'm going to add half inch to that measurement. Half inch is for my seam allowance. So half inch plus 9 1/4, that will give me 9 3/4. So I'm going to measure 9 3/4 here. So this is where 9 3/4 stops. So I'll just fold it into two. I have my pattern paper folded and I have 9 3/4, which is plus my sewing allowance. So I'm going to draw a line here at the base so that I have a straight line. So at this part here, at this line here, this is going to be our center front and this will be our center back. This folded part is going to be the center front. So at this side here, I will go up by half of an inch, which is at the back. I'll go up by half of an inch, and then I'll get the midpoint of this measurement. That's this line I have here by folding my tape into two. So this is the midpoint here. So I'll connect this half inch point to this point. So just using the curved part of my ruler like this, I'll connect the points like this. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do is to measure the length of my collar, including the sewing allowance. I want this collar to be 1 inch when I'm done. I need half inch to sew the upper part and half inch to sew the down part. So that's a total of 2 inches. So from this line here, I'll go up by 2 inches. So now this is my new line, the curved line. So you can see I'm placing my 2 inches on the curved line like this. So it is curved. So I'm going to also connect the points like this also. You see? So this is the down part of the collar. So to get the upper part of this collar, I'm going to measure from the center front here to 6.5. You see, from here to 6.5 is where I have my 6.5. So at this center front here, I'm going to go up by 3 inches, and that's including my sewing allowance. So by the time I'm done sewing the upper part, I'll be left with 2 inches. So this is 3 inches. You see this point. So I'll connect this point to this point. So you can use the curved part of your ruler, or you can use the straight, that's this straight part. I want it to be a bit curvy, so I'm going to use the curved part of my ruler. You see? So this is the upper part of the collar and this is the down part of the collar. Okay? So I'll bring in my paper scissors and we'll cut it. So there's this V opening I want to have in front of the collar here. So at this upper part of the upper collar, I'm going to come in by 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to mark quarter inch here. So this is my quarter inch, and then I'll connect it to this point, just half inch away from this upper part, like this. You see? So now we'll continue with our cutting. So I've already cut out the down part, so I'll cut out the upper part like this. Okay? So this is what our collar will look like. So this is going to be the down part, and this will be the upper part. You see? So I'm going to place this on my fabric and cut two pieces for each of them. One will serve as the lining, one will serve as the fabric. But I'll be cutting both fabric. That's I will be cutting on my fabric, not on the lining. So one will serve as lining and the other will serve as fabric. I also cut two pieces of this as well. Okay, I'm done cutting the collar. I've cut both lining and fabric. So for the collar stand, which is the part, that's the collar that will be at the down part, I'll fold my fabric into two and get the midpoint and notch. This part I notched is the part that will be stitched to the neckline, which is the down part. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going ahead to do is to place the right side of the collar facing right side. That's place the right side facing right side, and then I'll take this to my sewing machine and stitch following this curved shape. So you see I'll follow the curved shape like this, and then the V, and then stitch this way. I'll bring it out from the down part. I'll stitch it and come back and show us the next thing to do. Okay, so I'm done stitching the collar. I'll go ahead and notch the V shape I have here. And then at the tips here, I'm going to just trim out the excess fabric, which is my seam allowance. This is so that when you turn it in, it's not bulky. And then I'll go ahead and notch the curved part. You see? So I'm going to turn this inside out now. I'll turn it to the right side. I want to hold the sharp edges or the sharp points and push them out correctly. So it is very advisable to trim any excess, that's your seam allowance inside, so that it's not bulky. You want this collar to sit as flat as possible. So after turning it out, I'll go ahead and give it a very good press. And you see what I have? I'll give it a very good press and I'll show us the next thing to do. After pressing the upper part of the collar, now for the down part, remember I notched the part that is going to be stitched to the neckline. So now also go ahead and notch the upper part, because you want this upper part to align with the V shape you have in front. That's at the center front of the upper collar. So you can see I notched the upper part. So I'm going to place the collar right side of the collar stand facing right side of the upper collar, making sure that that notch I have here at the center front is aligned with the V shape in front. I'll repeat the same thing here. I'll also get the midpoint and notch it, and then place it right behind that. Now the collar starts, the upper collar is going to be in between them. Just watch carefully what I'm doing to understand. Now the collar with the V shape, you can see, is in between the lining and the fabric of the collar stand. So I'm going ahead to pin the points. So I'll pin this down. Make sure that what I have on the left is the same thing I have on the right, and then I'll go and stitch it down and come back and show us the next thing to do. Okay, I'm done stitching the collar, and then I went ahead to notch the curved part. That's the part where I stitched, and right now you can see I'm pressing it. So now I chose one side of the collar. That's the side that is going to be on the right side. That's the side we're going to be seeing from outside. And then I'm folding half inch at the base of the collar. Take note of what I said. I folded half inch on just one side of the collar, and that side is the front side. That's the part that will be outside and will be seeing it. Okay. So I'm done pressing the collar. I'll get the midpoint, which I already did, and I notched it. So that part that is notched, you can see that one side is folded in and it's only one side that you can see the notch. So the parts you can see the notch, which is the part that is not folded, I'm going to place it on the wrong side of the wrong side of the outfit. So for the outfit, I'll also fold it into two and get the midpoint of the front and notch it as well so that it can align with the collar. So now the part of the collar that I didn't fold in, that I didn't fold half inch, I'm going to place it on the wrong side here and then I'll pin it. Okay, so I'll pin it all the way to the zip allowance and then I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch on that half inch that I didn't fold. After doing that, I'll flip the other side of the collar, which is going to be the front side. I'll flip it and then top stitch it on the other side. Take note of what I'm doing. I made sure that the center, that's the center front, is aligned with that V shape that I have there in front. You don't want it to shift because that V shape must be at the center. So I'm done top stitching the collar, and this is what I have, so you can see, and this is what it will look like when I flip it over like this. I went ahead to stitch the sides that have closed up the side using my sewing allowance, and I went ahead to weave also. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the flare. So it's to sew the flare now. This is the waistline of our flare. I'm going to make sure that I'm placing the right side facing right side. This is the wrong side of my fabric and this is the right side of the fabric. So I'll place the upper bodies like this. First I'll get the midpoint, just notch it into two. Get the midpoint also of the flare. Then I'll place them facing each other like this, right side facing right side. You see? I'll pin to the center back here. So to draft this extravagant structured sleeve, you will need your basic sleeve pattern. And here I have my short basic sleeve pattern. This is from the shoulder to the elbow length, which is 13 inches sleeve. And see, so the first thing I'm going to do is to get the midpoint of this line. So if you don't know how to draft a basic sleeve, I have a detailed video on my channel on how to draft a basic sleeve. I'll be dropping the link in the description box so that you can watch and learn how to draft a basic sleeve. So this is the midpoint of my sleeve. So here now I have my my gum stay. I'm going to be using my gum stay to draft this sleeve. So to place my sleeve, I'm going to place it about 6 inches below the starting point of the gum stick, which is here. So this is 6 inches below this point. We'll understand why I'm placing it this way. So I'm just going to pin it down. Okay. So now this is the midpoint of the armhole area. This is the armhole area of the sleeve. So I need to get the midpoint. So I'm just going to measure what I have here first. From here to here, I have 8.5. So the midpoint is 4 1/4. So I'm going to mark on 4 1/4, which I already have on this side. I'm also going to indicate the same 4 1/4 on this other side. So once that is done, this line I have here, I'm just going to extend it into onto the gum stick here. Okay. So now that I've extended the line, now you can just choose one of the sides. I'm going to be choosing this side. On this side from the center front, I'm going to come in by 3 inches. So I'll mark this 3 inches point first. So now you actually need the measurement from the neck width to the tip of the shoulder for this part. And this is the gown I'm making this sleeve for. So this is what I mean. You're going to measure what you have. This is the neck width here, and this is the shoulder tip. So I'm going to measure what I have here from the neck width to the shoulder tip. Here I have 5 inches. So I'm going to mark 5 inches above the sleeve cap here. So this is my 5 inches mark here. So having marked 5 inches, now the next thing I'm going to do, from this 5 inches mark, I'll come out by 2 inches. You see, I came out by 2 inches. So this 2 inches mark I have here, I'm going to connect it to the midpoint of this sleeve back. You see that? I connected it to the midpoint of this sleeve. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to connect this point, this 3 inches point I have here, and then this point, and then connect it to this side. So to do that, I will need my curve, a curve ruler. So I'm just going to connect like this, from here to here. You see that? And then I'm going to connect to this side as well. So you want to make sure that it's not too small. So I can use my free hand. Let me use broken lines and see what I have first. Can you see? I've connected it to meet this 2 inches mark I have here. So I like what I have. So I'm just going to use my armhole curve. You can see that my armhole curve is not giving me that fullness I want by placing it this way. So using my free hand gave me the result I desire. You see? So this is what we have. So I'll go ahead and cut out this. So now I'm cutting out on my gum stick, and then I'll show us the next thing to do. So I'll be cutting out this side like this. So this is what I have. I will need two of these to be able to achieve that volume. So since I'm drafting on my gum stay, I'm going to place it on top of it, and I'll show us the next thing to do. So I'm cutting 2 pieces of this so that it can make up for the other side. Now this is it. This is the side. Can you see? This is the main. This is the sleeve from the side to the midpoint of the sleeve, and that's what we have here. So this is what I'm doing. This is the side of our sleeve, and this is the side here. I'm going to place this side. Make sure that the side is touching this side. And please take note of one thing. I didn't add sewing allowance to this pattern, that's to the sleeve pattern. It is exactly the measurement. You don't need sewing allowance because this place is going to be joined together. So you want to make sure that is the actual round armhole measurement that you are working with. So I'm just going to pin down this side like this. Can you see? So the more you open, the more wideness you will have. Can you see what I'm doing? So the more open it is, the more wideness you will have. So this depends on what you want to achieve. So for me, I want to have about 6 inches here. So this is fine. So this is 6 inches here at this point. So I'm just going to pin down, or I'll tape it down with my masking tape so that it doesn't shift. So now I will go ahead and connect these points like this. You see? So this is what I'm going to be working with in this case. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this is what my sleeve looks like. So remember, I'm drafting on my gum stay directly. So in order not to waste your gum stay, because I'm making two sleeves, I'm going to just cut this particular shape and patch up this place. But this is exactly what my sleeve will look like. So I'm going to place this on my fabric and cut 2 pieces Okay, one will serve as the lining and one will serve as the fabric. And then I'm going to iron the gum stay on the one that will serve as the lining. So I'll cut it out and show us. Just to show us how to patch up the gum stay, just in case you draft yours like mine, so that you don't waste this gum stay. This is my gum stay, and gum stay has one part that is shiny. The part that is shiny is the side with the gum, and this is the side with the gum here as well. This is the side with the gum. So I'm just going to place this one over it like this. Can you see? It's on top of this and it's also on top of this. I'll bring in my iron and press it down. I've pressed it down. This is so that you don't waste your gum stick. Can you see? So I can remove even the gum and the masking tape I have here. So everything is sitting well. So I'm just going to place this one now that is a full piece and trace out the same shape so that we have the same thing. So that's just what I thought to show us. Cutting out the main sleeve, and I ironed the gum stay. I ironed the gum stay on the one that is going to serve as the lining. This is another fabric. I'm using a black fabric which I used for the collar of the outfit I'm making this for. So this is going to be the one inside. So I ironed gum stay to it. I did the same thing on the other side, and then this is going to be the main sleeve. So this main sleeve I don't want to have gum stay, or the main fabric rather. I don't want to have gum stay on it. So you can decide to iron on both of them if you want it to be very hard, but this is just enough. Okay, so I'm going to place the sleeves now, lining facing the right side of the fabric. So this is now the right side of the lining fabric. I'm going to place it this way and take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to stitch like this. I'm going to stitch this way. I will start from here, from this point, leaving out this sleeve cap entirely. I'm going to stitch this way, take it round like this, and come back here. I'll be stitching on half inch. Let me repeat myself. I'll stitch this way, round, round, and then I'll bring it back to this point. I won't touch this part. This is the side we're going to bring it, we'll bring it out from. That's this sleeve cap area. So I'll stitch it and come back and show us. So I'm done stitching the sleeve round. You see, I've stitched it round. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I will notch this side. Can you see? You want to make sure that your notch aligns with the stitch that you stopped here. I will also notch this side, and then I'll trim out this part, this sharp point here. Just reduce your seam allowance generally. I'll go ahead and notch the sleeve round. That's notching all the curves. This is so that when I turn it out to the right side, it will be easy to iron and it will give me that flat effect that we're looking for. I have my sleeve turned out. I'm going to bring in my pressing iron and press it very flat. So I'm done stitching, I'm done pressing it, and I've gone ahead to stitch. So you can see I notched this part and I also notched this part. So now this is what we are going to do. This sleeve, I will fold it into two like this and notch this part. This is the underarm. This is the underarm. This is the midpoint. And this is our gown that we're going to be fixing the sleeve to. I already showed us how to make it, and this is my zipper. I've fixed my zipper and I've hemmed the down part. And see, everything is coming out really beautiful. I went ahead to press the zipper from the reverse side to make sure that everything is sitting well. So now to fix the sleeve, I'll open up this side, that's the zip. So here is the midpoint, which is the underarm. So I'm going to place it like this. This is why I said that the sleeve does not need any sewing allowance. You can see that I've already joined the side of the gown. So this is the actual armhole measurement. So here I'll pin this midpoint here. If you use your actual measurement, it will size the armhole correctly. So here, I'll go ahead and pin this side. And you see this part with the notch here. And see, it stops exactly at the shoulder here, which is that half inch I notched. I'm just going to pin it here also. And see that it sizes it. And then here, I'll pin this side as well. You see? See them meeting at this point. You see? It's sizing the armhole. So you don't need to add any seam allowance to the sleeve. That's to your basic sleeve before you start drafting your pattern. So I'm going to take this to my machine and then I'll stitch on half inch round. Take note that this part, this extension is away. So I'm just going to stitch on this half inch mark that I have here. Stitch it round without that 6 inches extension, 5 inches extension, I beg your pardon. Then I'll come back and show us the final outcome of this gown. So this is what our gown looks like. You see, it came out really beautiful. Our color is sitting really pretty. And for the sleeve, I already tacked this side. So I'm going to use this side to show us how to tack it. So all you need to do, you can see that this part is already falling on the shoulder like this. So I'm just going to tack it from inside. It is advisable to fix your thread. You can see I have my needle and thread already. It's advisable to fix the thread from the reverse side, that's from inside of the gown, okay, not from outside, so that you can knot it well. So I'm just going to fix my thread here from the shoulder, from inside, and then I'll bring it out like this, take it back again. And you see, I'll take it back again. So I'm just going to tack it till it is really, really strong, and I'm okay with what I have. And that's all for this gown.